Hello, everyone. Miss Sullivan here. So I forgot to record our Zoom meeting at 5:30. So I'm recording now the slideshow that I shared and then covering a couple of the questions that people had that I think are relevant. So you can text me questions after if you have any. So I'm going to share my screen for the slideshow. Okay. So we're starting distance learning this week, and it'll be new for all of us. So some reminders as we start: emotional and physical well-being come first. That's something that we think is really important. It goes for your child, you and your family. If people are sick, take care of that first. Stress is a big concern for everyone right now. So just take care of yourselves. So right now, learning is secondary. We want to start with establishing routines and readjusting to the new situation. So, and also like building a connection between me and you and the students through this new way of learning. So we want to kind of start slow and take our time with that. It's already a stressful time, so if you or your child are feeling overwhelmed with the work, take a break, switch it up, let things go, and ask for help. Reach out to me if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, if you have questions or you need help. I will be here and the rest of the kinder team too. So the learning packets went home today. If you haven't picked it up, we're going to ask that you pick it up Thursday or Friday. And if you aren't able to make it to the school, they're working on a plan to get those packets out to people. So the packets are going out in 2-week increments. So that means that the way we do things may change as we go, and if the closure is extended. Please hold on to student work. We're asking you to keep the work, if you can keep it in a folder. At this point, we're not collecting anything back yet, but it's a possibility. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, whether we'll be asking for photos or having things turned back when you get a new packet. So for right now, if you can just keep the work, don't get rid of it. This packet was made by the district, so the one you got today was made by the district. Any further packets will be created by the Lapine Kinder team. So they'll be better geared towards what your child's been doing in class. The work will look more like what they've been doing. So don't worry if this first packet, some of it's a little stressful or they aren't sure about what they're doing, because sometimes when it doesn't look the same as what they've been doing, they think they can't do it. The kinder team is all planning together, so everything we're doing from videos and our conference times, we're trying to keep everything the same across the board with flexibility as needed. Don't be overwhelmed by it when you look at the work. We're going to help guide you through it with daily video overviews and support as needed. We're starting slow. So in the packet, you'll see the breakdown where it says 45 minutes for language arts and 45 minutes for math. Don't worry so much about those time frames. What we're suggesting, and Ms. Lopez talks about it in the video that's for tomorrow, we're suggesting start in 10 to 15 minute increments per topic area. So for language arts, pick one activity for that day that's listed and say you're working on sight words, so spend 10 to 15 minutes on that. If your child's getting fidgety, you might just do a quick movement or brain break. Those are also in the video that we have already up on YouTube. Or maybe take a little bit of a longer break, or you can switch it up and do math for 10 to 15 minutes. So don't feel like pressure to get everything done. We really just want to start slow. We're just beginning, just like at the beginning of kindergarten. We go over routines first. It's more about getting a schedule and a routine down. So that's really important. I'll show you in a second an example of a daily schedule. So having a daily schedule is going to help. They're used to that in school, but it helps the kids to see that, okay, I have a break coming soon. I do work for a little bit, I get a little break. I do a little more work, I can do some art. So, and you can gear that towards your child and figure out what works for you and your family. I know a lot of you are working or you have other kids, so but just having a set routine is going to help with being able to get some of the work done. Also, a designated work area for your child is helpful too. So then they have their area they go to where they know they're supposed to be working on their stuff. So here's an example of the daily schedule, and I'm going to send this to you. I think, okay. So just breaking up the day with different activities, however you want to lay it out. This is one example how you could do it. Have some creative time in there, recess, a lot of movement breaks, and having quiet time. We have quiet time at school after lunch, so they're used to that. And then there's a lot of opportunity since they're home. There's a lot of learning that happens in your regular day. So if you're cooking, you can cook together. There's you can talk about the steps of cooking or do a science experiment together. There's a lot of opportunities for learning just within the daily things you do at home. So I will send that to you. And then communication. So this is one of the big things. We really want to make sure we're communicating well with you. And we're working on the best ways to do it. So I know not everyone has access to internet all the time, but we will have the daily YouTube videos that will go over the work that is for that day. So we're trying to get them up for first thing in the morning. So those will be there for you each day to help you guide you through the work. And then you can text through Remind at any time. And I'll answer as soon as I can. Sometimes I'll be on calls, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And then if you need to talk to me or ask questions, you can, for Thursday and Friday of this week, just send me a text and ask me to call you, or I can Zoom call you, and then we can have more of an interactive question time, or if you want me to just say hi to your child, so I haven't seen them in a while. And just note that if you ask for me to call you back by phone, I will be calling from a private number, so you know that. And then starting next week, so you can remind text during school hours at any time. I'll respond as soon as I can. And then I sent out the Sign Up Genius already for conferencing and check-ins. So you'll pick a 20-minute slot that, I think it's a 30-minute slot on there, but it'll be 20 minutes. So where I can check in with you and your child. You can choose the format that works best for you. So just write it in the comments section of the sign up. So it's basically your time with me. So if you want to ask questions, that works for me. If you are asking for a Zoom call, then that's a good time for me to check in with your child and you. If you want, maybe math isn't your subject and you want me to help them with the math that day, then that's something I can do too. Or, it's like a tricky subject or what. It's kind of just your time with me. So it can be adjusted too. If some weeks you want to do a Zoom call and sometimes you just want a text check-in, it can be flexible. But yeah, it's your time. So if you don't see a time that works for you, we can just figure out another time for that. And then there's office hours, which are Tuesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. and then Wednesdays 2 to 3 p.m. So that's time where it's not your conference time. You need to ask questions that are more than just a text, or you really want me to check in with your child, then that is available too. So just text me that you would like to talk during that time, and we'll figure out exactly what time that can be during those hour time frames. Then oh, and then someone had asked on the Zoom call about student interacting with each other. So the kinder team did talk about doing a few times a week class calls on Zoom where they can see each other, and we can do maybe stories or art lessons, or just time for them to interact together. And then I'm also going to send out a text about, if you want to share your information, allow me to share it with the rest of the class if you want to set up Zoom play dates or something like that. That was a cool idea, so that the kids can stay connected, because I know a lot of you guys said they're missing each other. So that would be cool. So I'll be sending that text out too. And then final thoughts. So this is uncharted waters for all of us. We'll be learning and figuring things out as we go. Been kind of struggling with the technology part myself. Like I'm sure some of you are too. And then I know it's stressful and hard on you. A lot of you are working, you have other kids. It's a lot to be trying to do schoolwork in there too. So really take care of yourselves, and we want to try to make it as stress-free as possible at the beginning and not put too much pressure on it. I may not know all the answers to your questions, but I'll do my best to find out. We've kind of been finding out information at the same time as you. So as soon as I know things, I'll let you know. And then feel free to ask me any questions though, and I'll try to get answers for you if I don't know. If you need anything else, let me know, even if it's not schoolwork related. There's some of the office staff still working at the school. We're a community, so we can do our best to help you out in those needs. So that's the end of the slideshow. And then as far as questions that people asked, for the packet, someone asked about how many worksheets a day. And so I just reiterated, it's more about trying to do it in time chunks. Every child works at a different pace. So for some, doing a worksheet is very easy, and for others, it'll take longer. So just try to think of it in 10 to 15 minute chunks. So I work on sight words for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we can read the story together for 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, my child's really getting antsy and not really listening to me anymore. Okay, it's time for a movement break. And then, okay, let's try some math now. And then they're doing pretty good. Okay, let's try to do a little writing. So kind of look at it in that way of like, start small and then build on. And you know your child, and when they start to get stressed, it starts to get stressful, that's when it's time for a little break. So we do, in the video for tomorrow, it goes over the packet work for tomorrow, and there's a slideshow that goes along with it that Miss Lopez has already posted to the YouTube channel. It has brain breaks and ideas for movement breaks too, so there's a lot of good information in there. I think that is it for now. Thanks for bearing with me. And you'll be seeing me again soon. Please reach out with any questions or any concerns too. And thanks for listening.